Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer. Dear Ultimate fans around the world, get ready to witness the future. We are underway here at field number 1 at Pola Marsove with the under-17 mixed final. Hungary taking on Italy. Italy coming out on offense in this first pull of the under-17 mixed matchup. My name is Rachel Toshnerova, behind the mic for your pleasure and entertainment, once more together with the lovely Benjamin Rees.
I am so excited that the finals are finally getting underway, and maybe some early final nerves there out of Italy.
Hungary, with the potentially shortest roster at this tournament, quickly move the other way for the continuation in the end zone. They open up with a break against the Italians in blue.
Coming into this game, I think Hungary have to be heavy favourites for this one. The way the under-17 mixed format works is there are 5 teams, so there was just a big double round robin with the top 2 teams going straight to the final. That was Hungary and Italy, with Hungary having won every game so far, and putting an early marker down there of exactly why.
Hungary making an incredibly strong appearance in both of the mixed division, both under 17 and under 20. It looks like the Hungarian National Federation is putting a lot of effort and placing an emphasis on the mixed division especially, and also moving towards the direction of building up their national teams.
Yeah, they kind of made the decision a few years ago to kind of say, we're just going to focus on youth and try and build up, have a really strong mixed youth programs, and it'll be interesting to see how well they do this week and how well that builds for Hungary at EUC next year.
Wonderful ultimate weather conditions so far here on the pitch. A slight breeze coming from the right side of your screen. Hungary coming out in a zone look, trying to pin the Italians on the near sideline. Bronzetti finds his reset in the hands of Gioldin. Now they break through the cup. Go sideways to Mariani. Lefty put behind the first cup, but the Hungarian defender gets a hand on it first. And a ripper backhand straight for the end zone. This one, however, will not be run down by Matusz.
Yeah, I think he got suckered in his gunning towards the disc a little bit. If he'd held his run straight, he might have been able to catch up to him, but it was still a big ask. Not a surprise to see the put come out of the arm of Clement, who's been one of the standouts across any team so far this tournament. 33 assists and 14 goals for Ferenc Clement.
Lovely break side put to crush through the Hungarian first cup. Bit of a low reset from the Italians. Mariani now. Again with that lefty backhand. Loving the courage from the Italians as they get over the cup and have an immediate continuation.
That was a beautifully weighted shot down the far sideline to Bianchi.
But Hungarians managed to recover. Still sticking with that zone. They get a touch on that disc and an interception. They quickly strike the other way. They wind up relying on the speed of the downfield receivers. Despite the defensive pressure, Hungary come down in it, and that's a second break in a row.
Yeah,
Kubek with the score.
Reels it in. You could see the speed along the ground. Just despite the quickness of the Italian defenders, he's able to match them stride for stride. And you could see how quickly they strike after the turn. It was no, you know, catching the D so they can get going quickly. And then no fear with the deep space open, just floating this one up there and letting him go and get it.
Let's have a look at that again. Two Italian defenders recognize the threat early, try to run it down, but they just get outrun on the last few bits. Here's the interception once more.
Yeah, Kokai now for Hungary has thrown both of their goals. Sun beaming down now in Poland. There is some cloud overhead, but at the moment it's doing not much at all, just some extra humidity in the air. We had some rain overnight, so the field's a little bit more slippery than it has been.
Whenever that sun does come out, it's putting that extra strain on the players, the ever-changing conditions of a little bit of nice cooling breeze, and that again, that hotness sort of falls on you, pins you down. We see the big Hungarian poach in the open side, but Italy get it off the line. Vezzani. Guzzi. Centering once more to Vezzani. Now they break through, give and go. They think about the deep shot, decide against it. Swinging to Guzzi. Now this is a great look. Guzzi has it once more. Sunglasses making an appearance on Giulia Porcellini. But an overthrow on the swing pass. The disc will be once more with the Hungarians.
Here's Clement, who doesn't lack for confidence. He lists his ultimate or sporting hero as himself.
And this overthrow saved by two saves in that point by Hungary. We weren't quite sure what was happening. That disc was hanging in the air for quite some time.
Miksha at the back of the end zone lays out and saves the day for Hungary to give them another break and a 3-0 lead. He said that when we watch him play, we should look out for layouts, and thank you for the tip-off. We appreciate it because it proved to come true. These two sides have met twice before in the double round robin, and Hungary won comfortably on both occasions, 15-2 in the first game, and Italy were a bit better in the second, but still went down to a heavy defeat, 14-5, two of Italy's 3 defeats. They lost both games to Hungary, and also, strangely, they also went down yesterday afternoon, 13-10 to Austria, a team that didn't win any other games in the tournament. So a little bit of a strange one.
Maybe they were trying to rest some of their players, or maybe give an opportunity to some of these players who haven't had a chance to enter the fields as much, because sometimes when your team is doing really well in a tournament, you might be playing some of your better half, so to speak, a little more often, and then you still want to give the opportunities in some of the games that might not matter as much to some of the other players to just have a good tournament as well and get their fair share of game time. So it seems like we will have a first timeout of this game. Benji, what would you be saying to your team knowing that you have suffered those 2 big losses so far from them in the tournament already?
Forget about them. Like, obviously there's stuff that you'd have learned from them, but it could be so easy to dwell on the results, and you got yourself in a big hole early and think, here we go again. But if you adopt that mindset, I think the game's already gone. You have to say, look, let's just focus on beating what we've got opposite us here today, and that's by, you know, playing well, making sure we take good options. If we turn, playing good defense. Don't immediately just give up and assume that we've already lost, because then if you give that up mentally, I think you might have already done.
What an exam, what a test for these young athletes. Under 17 division, you've barely made your first appearance at a big international tournament, and already the coaches are asking so much from you. So Italy will have another shot at their offensive hold in this next point.
In the 2 games these two sides have played between each other so far, Clement has had a combined 14 goals and assists. So clearly, I think Italy probably know all about his impact. The question is just, can they stop it?
We see some friendly high fives on the sideline. And this pull out of Hungary goes out of bounds.
It's going to give the Italians pretty tasty field position here.
Rapalli. Centers to Mariani. Mariani, the lefty, and a wobble on the disc. The receiver raises her arms as an excuse.
Now there's going to be a stoppage here.
Is that a stuck earring?
It seems to be what she's fiddling with.
So it seems like Kokai will take an injury sub. She'll be replaced by Sara Toth. And it is indeed a stuck earring that is causing the trouble for Italy.
I think that's probably one of those things that's probably more painful than it looks.
Jam cut from Hungary. Gainer by Toth. Gubek now, pointing to the area where he wants to put his throw. Toth gets low for the centering pass to her sister. Oh, and this one almost pushed to the ground, but great save to keep disc alive for Hungary.
Thought to make that look so much easier than it was, because that was a really tough catch to stick.
Gubek once more in the center of the pitch.
And then down the far sideline, I think a foul called, potentially.
Quickly contested, there'll be no discussion. It seems like the players know better after the two rematches that they had early in the tournament.
I mean, I appreciate that obviously they've got more experience with each other than other teams might do, but I still would have liked to see some sort of discussion.
And another layout block, this time no call on the defense.
Yeah, I think Mikshat considered the call and then decided against it. Thought, actually, you know what, that's clean.
That was Rapalli with the D. Now Peroni on the near sideline. He's got his reset, but he's pointing into the space where he would like to gain some yards.
It's Porcellini who's still rocking those sunglasses.
And some Italy paint on his face. And players looking around. Rapalli was colliding in that area. No call. It will be up. Rapalli to Mariani. Mariani winds up that lefty backhand. Goes for Vezzani. Just shy of the end zone. This could be a first score for Italy. And an important hold mentally. Mariani gets the reset, pops it in. Vezzani once more. She gets the first score on the board for Italy.
It feels like Hungary may be baiting those deep shots a little bit. Saying Italy, if you feel like you can take them on, go ahead. But we back ourselves to try and, you know, play good deep defense, get blocks in the lane. But that time, it was a perfect foot from Mariani. Vezzani tracked it well, just shy of the end zone, and then took the reset back to Mariani, popped it in for the score. Italy on the board, 3-1. Always nice to see both sides get on the board relatively early in the game.
Good to see the energy, that timeout really proving useful for Italy. They lost this disc a couple of times still in the last point, but were able to get it back off of Hungary with some heroic efforts on the D. And with the help, with a little bit of help from the wind as well. Here's the replay of the last point. Mariani using that lefty advantage, and Vezzani for the pop-in.
Yeah, those two connected on the deep strike, and they connect on the little pop for the goal as well. There's that rescue by Toth. And that was the block there from Rapalli. And you tend to think of Rimini and primarily Bologna when you think about where the Italian players are usually based, but Rapalli's actually out of Milano.
Good to see some diversity on the geographic distribution of these Italian players. Hungary get underway. Quick movement.
I think this is the first time we've seen the Hungarian O-line.
Vasari receives the disc on the sideline.
Yeah, all of the other Hungarian points have been breaks.
Centers to Nagy. Nagy, one of the lefties for this Hungarian side. He's stepping out, but the stall count's getting high. Interesting forehand technique, but he gets it off.
Yeah, we talk about generally about O-lines and D-lines, but Hungary have only bought 14 players, 7 of each gender,
And look at that lefty ripper into the end zone. That goes into traffic. Italy come down with it. Yeah, you said it, Benji, 14 players. You can tell Hungary is getting ready for that World Games format. And honestly, I've been saying this since the World Games. I believe this could actually be a great format for both club and national competition.
I mean, you would totally understand why teams like to take much larger rosters, especially at week-long tournaments. It helps compensate for injuries, illness, especially because the COVID pandemic is very much not out of sight yet.
But when you think about it, wouldn't it allow for more even distribution of competition if we try to adjust the format so that we could play just with 14 players?
Yeah, you might avoid these super clubs that kind of suck in all the talent from the surrounding areas.
Clement puts it in the end zone. Not sure if that was the intended receiver. It doesn't matter. Hungary put another one on the board.
Vasari Maklari with the goal. A beautiful little scuba hat from Clement. We've seen that he's got a gun, but that time less power, more finesse. It was good to see.
Vasari Maklari, of course, being quite a long last name to pronounce, so she actually goes by Lila VM on her team. She currently actually lives in Wrocław, but comes out of Budapest.
I wonder if it's whether she lives in Wrocław or it's literally just when she filled in the survey, she'd arrived for the tournament.
That would be the cutest thing.
Right? I'll be honest, I've been sneakily hoping that players would do that.
But otherwise, we have all the respect for the players on the field. They've been delivering us great content all week long. We've seen some wonderful plays, some bright future of European and World Ultimate, as well as great display of spirit. You can check out the results from this tournament at the jjuc.sport website. The spirit scores have been uploaded there on a running basis as well. So feel free to click that link in the description of the video. Here is a pull out of Hungary. It reaches just about the Italian end zone.
There's a little bit of a blustery wind here, so confident catching of the pull, but they can't do anything with it.
Gubek goes through the break side to Matusz. They find an open pass in front of the end zone. That's an easy score. Miksha adds another one to his impressive stats record.
Yeah, they strike quickly after the turn, don't they? Never in any mood to hang about, pick up the pace, get it going quickly. What I like here is they took that open swing. Doesn't matter that it's to the break side, you know, that's over the, it's not a positive pass. We'll keep the disc moving, and then it allowed them to flow back towards this near side where Miksha makes the catch for the score.
And holsters the spike.
Which I'm sure will please you.
As always. Thank you so much for engaging at the WFDF, Alti TV channel actually. We are in the under-17 division, meaning EYUC European Youth Ultimate Championship. So we are over on our own Alti.tv YouTube channel. Help us raise that subscribers number by hitting the big bright red subscribe button. It's also going to allow you to participate in the chat. Please make sure to keep the spirit of the game engaged in there as well.
Yeah, a reminder as well that all of the under-17 games from this week are available on demand on our YouTube channel, and this plus the other two under-17 finals, the under-17 women's final at 3 o'clock and the under-17 open final at 5 o'clock, are live right here. And subscribe and turn notifications on so you make sure that you don't miss a minute of it with the under-20 finals. That's the mixed at 7 o'clock today, and the open and women's tomorrow morning will be over on the World Flying Disc Federation YouTube.
And if you're a fan of Italy, you might be in for a treat today.
Yes, because Italy are in all of the under-17 semi-finals. The next two, the open and women's, they face France in both.
Some strong Southern European showing in the JJUC finals. Lefty pull. We haven't seen too many of those on the stream. Lands out of bounds though, unfortunately.
Hit some fans in the stands on the far side. Philip retrieves a bit of litter from the field. What a good egg.
Big put from Italy. Sails out of bounds once more. We've seen it so many times. It almost looks like it's going to come back in, but we, from the commentary booth, being on the other side, do not have a great angle.
Yeah, what I would like to see is the Italy receiver downfield. Even if you can't tow it in, see if you can jump and get a touch on it to at least force Hungary to take it from their own end zone.
Which will not be the case as they walk it towards the last third and center to Matus. He goes wide to Estertot. Finding continuation in Siklai. Gubek in the middle. Back to Matus. They find a slice through the middle. Miksha winds up. Is that a lefty scoober into the end zone? It's collected.
Is it in though? It might be out the back of the end zone. I think it's the hammer just helixing a little bit at the end. And yeah, Italy are going to get the disc back.
Vezzani to pick up. Vezzani also out of Milano. Admiring Riccardo Piludu for his determination, if my Italian is correct.
I back you.
My Italian's non-existent. In any case, Italy with a break shot. That's a lovely put behind the Hungarian wall defense. High grab, they connect. Continue down the sideline. Lizzeri goes backwards. Vezzani once more finds Rapali on this near sideline. This was such quick, good flow out of the Italians. But they throw that sort of in the traffic. And Hungarians move the other way. Matus happy to take the reset. Hungary very much playing the position game here. Here is the jump in. Mika and Miksha with the score for Hungary, taking a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, they're not afraid to stay with the disc for a little bit. Not always want to get it out of their hands quickly. Sometimes they just want to hold it and make sure that they're surveying the field properly, seeing if they can take on an aggressive option. And once they got it through, the nice little bounce back and forth between Miksha and Matus. And Miksha jumps it in. Hungary looking very much like the team we've seen all week here. Dominant. And 6-1 to the good. This Hungary team have been so impressive this week.
Honestly, I think the one advantage that you get from these smaller rosters is that the players just get so comfortable with each other throughout the tournament. And if they do have the conditioning and the fitness to sort of make it all the way through the tournament, and it's just an advantage that needs to be calculated with, so to speak. They just see each other on the field, they get that flow, they get the sync, so to speak. They just gel really well.
I wonder if that's one of the benefits of having quite a compressed roster, is that everyone's getting a lot of playing time with everyone else. You've got those chemistry and those connections down. Obviously, it means that you are maybe a bit more susceptible to injuries, but if you can keep everyone fit and healthy, and again, because they've been beating teams generally so comfortably, they've been getting a decent amount of rest as well. It's really worked for them.
It just, yeah, everything going in their favor. And here they are once more with the pull. This one lands in bounds, about level with the Italian brick mark. Beneducci to Mariani. Over the top, good look. Defender almost gets there, but that's Maini's disc. Good put, I mean, good eyes, but not the perfect execution on that last throw. Disc ends up with Clement.
See this, he's holding, he wants to be aggressive with it, but doesn't see it, so just goes short instead.
He's working with Nad in the handling space, but now he's swinging wide. Now that's a great gainer to Siklay. Low bid, continuation.
They've got the numerical mismatch downfield, trying to strike it, but Lila Takac, whose older sister is playing in the under-20 division with Hungary, couldn't get there in time. And we will see the under-20 mixed Hungarian side at 7 o'clock this evening as they take on Switzerland in the mixed final.
Pastendorf, the coach of this Hungarian team, one of the coaches of this Hungarian team, walking on the sideline. Oh, and here's a wobble. Hungary get it near the end zone. They swing it first to Nagy. Nagy winds up for that lefty back forehand. Oh, and great heads up D by the Italian defender. Couldn't quite see who it was.
Teremi thinks that he has 2 hands on that. Whether he'd stop rotation and establish control, I don't know. It's been contested and sent back.
So Hungary keeps possession, as I'm being made fun of for my Hungarian pronunciation. High disc into the end zone for the score. No call. And that is Vasari with the score.
Hungary 1 point away from half. This defense, it forces the opposition to take lots of passes, and they just trust that they can force enough pressure that eventually the mistake, the turnover, is going to be coaxed out of them, and then with a short field in the red zone, they've been deadly. And we see it again there, taking advantage of the short field. Just 1 point away from half.
A very impressive performance out of the Hungarians. It doesn't seem like there was much competition for them in the under-17 category. However, it's been a different story in the under-20 mixed, hasn't it, Benji?
Yeah, there's the format of the under-20 mix. There was kind of one big pool, and then the top 3 went into a power pool, and they replay the games there, and then the top 2 in that power pool go to the final. They swept everyone inside in the initial pool phase, but then really stumbled in the power pool, losing to Switzerland to avenge their initial pool play loss, and just about squeaking, and I mean squeaking past the Swedes yesterday evening to take their spot in the final. We'll go more in-depth on that tumultuous game in the under-20 final at 7 o'clock this evening. But the Hungarian sides, their results on the field have generally been pretty tough to argue with. 2 teams in the finals. The under-17s haven't lost a game yet. It's been a good week for them.
And as you get a quick look at our faces here in the commentary booth, trying to keep ourselves cool in this hot Wrocław weather, it seems like the teams will leave their timeout huddles. They have 2 each at their disposal.
Yeah, 2 per half for each team. And if you don't use 2 in the first half, it's not like you get 3 or 4 in the second. They just reset. So Italy thinking, may as well use 1 here, see if we can get a little bit of momentum back before we go into the break. It is a sweltering day here in Poland. There's a decent amount of humidity in the air as well, despite the overnight rain.
What was the word again, Benji? Enlighten us. What?
Sweltering?
Sweltering?
It's warm. It's pretty warm.
Sweltering. Let's see if we can get that in Italian. Soffocante.
Yeah, that seems to track with my very minimal Italian.
Italy back on offense. Hungary once more with their zone, and that is an unfortunate overthrow. The channel was there, it was open. The throw expected.
But it's so difficult to get enough kind of backspin on that, just to get it to sit there, trying to thread that one through to Lohokano.
Clement centers to Toth. Nice zappy throws from these Hungarian handlers.
Yeah, going with the zone on the turn here, the Italians, seeing if they can slow down the Hungarians. And they're slowing them down so far. But they're doing well, taking the swings.
Italy, one of the few teams that we have seen at this tournament that is able to set up a zone from their offensive line after a turnover.
Yeah, wonder if that was what was being discussed off that timeout.
Toth goes through the middle to Clement. Oh, and a wobble on the catch. Gives the disc back to Italy.
Just a little bit off target and inaccurate.
Vezzani. A gainer to Bronzetti.
Lohokano was charging deep down this near side, but Clement was lurking, ready to pick off any deep strike.
That's a nice continuation from Ravasio. Guzzi goes backwards to Porcellini. Think about the deep shot, but Hungary expects it. They're left with working the disc through or around the cup. Travel call on Guzzi. He did seem to take an extra step on that one.
Yeah, goes back into position and we continue. Travels, not a stoppage.
Porcellini pinned to the sideline, finds Vezzi.
Can they find a way out of it? Nice swing backwards there from Vezzani.
And they finally get towards the other side of the pitch. There's space behind the second cup, but Hungary doing a good job sort of playing the mismatch game, but this is exactly what I was talking about. That's where the space was. Ravasio secures that catch for Italy as they get a big gainer.
Guzzi does seem to go for a little bit of a wander when he catches the disc. And he's called up for it again.
He's now going for a little give and go action with Vezzani, sorry. Porcellini now takes the reset. Italy staying with the zone all the way. They take the bait on the up line, and Guzzi with the score for Italy. 2 points on the Italian scoreboard now.
Yeah, Guzzi's very happy to go every other, continually have the disc in his hand, and they inch by inch piecemeal their way down the field. And you mentioned there was maybe the Hungarians baiting that little shot there to the front of the end zone. But Vezzani backed herself to fit it in there, and she fit it in there well. Jammed into the jam hole at the front for 7-2.
I wonder if Vezzani and Guzzi, both coming out of Milano, maybe have some club experience playing together? Because they seem to be gelling really well on the field.
Yeah, certainly if they're not necessarily playing together that much, probably training together, practicing together, does help build up those connections.
Vezzani playing with a little wristband wrapped around her right hand. but it doesn't seem to be affecting her handling skills. Hungary once more with a chance to take the half in this under 17 mixed final. We are with you on the Ulti TV YouTube channel, live streaming action straight from the fresh fields of Pola Marsowe in Wrocław, Poland.
Interesting stat from the double round robin, which was the kind of initial phase of this tournament that found our teams for the final. Hungary had a plus 75 point differential. No one else even had a positive one, including Italy in this final, who were at -7. Such was the manner of the defeats they took against the Hungarians, and that shock loss to Austria yesterday as well.
Gubek, Clement and Siklay in the handler set for Hungary. Benoni on the mark, lets this one slip. Clement was looking for some give and go. Puts up a huge hammer into the end zone. It's hanging, the receiver is underneath, and that's a score for Italy, for Hungary.
Takes them into half 8-2. What a rip that is from Ferenc Clement. I mean, that is ridiculous to be able to be throwing that.
And Lennart gets a hug for the first score of the game for her. She takes Hungary to half. Here's Clement. You saw that he wanted that little give and go. And since he didn't get it, he decided to go for the highlights in a more spectacular fashion. Rips that one across the field. Hanna Lennart with the first score for her stats.
And it feels like this player has everything in the locker. Stands tall, using that reach, so it's always going to be over the mark. Rips this across the field. You see it helix a little bit back in towards the pitch as well at the end, and his phenomenal tournament continues, just racking up the stats, as we mentioned. 33 assists and 14 goals coming into this game.
And as Marton Paksai, the under-20 coach, comes to have a look at the younger part of the Hungarian contingent, we're going to take a short break in the commentary booth. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned at the Ulti TV YouTube channel. We're checking out for now.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlicker Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo! If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens un membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top Ulti TV بالمه eroginkime Ultimate vendromena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member of
Ulti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
and fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Oh, just a
Football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Second half action of the under-17 mixed final. Hungary sweeping through the first half, going 8-2 over the Italians, and then starting on offense, they put up a forehand throw, but I think there was some Italian hands making contact with the disc as it left the hands.
Yeah, Gubak, whatever happened there, Gubak did not get that right. I think he was actually aiming for the far side of the end zone. So it came up well short, so I'm not quite sure exactly how that disc got affected, but it must have done.
It's going to be Vezzani and Peroni, who is now streaking deep. Finds the hole behind that zone. But Clement says no in his little bucket hat. He gets underway. But a game stoppage.
Yeah, you wonder whether he's baiting that deep throw. The Italians, to their credit, took it on. But after they threaded that one to Peroni nicely, he thinks, yeah, this is the window I can definitely throw. No.
It would have been a lovely put. Maybe if it had a little bit more inside-out spin on it, it could have made it around Clement. And you know you've almost gotten it right if you had Ferenc Clement making himself felt horizontally.
But I love that the hat even stayed on, as if magnetized to his head. What a bid that is, by the way. Obscene. Obscene.
Wobble on the catch by Clement. I think another tip-off from the Italian defense. Like you said, Benji, Italy have been able to force turnovers from the Hungarian offense, but somehow Hungary always managing to get the disc back.
Yeah, all it takes is maybe the sickest layout you've seen all week.
Miksha.
Not that you'd have known it from how casually it was pulled off.
Gubek now working with Estertot. Clement. This time the head does come off.
There is a head under there. Do feel that the hat tends to kind of shield his face a little bit, especially with the eye black, adds an air of mystery about the man.
Gubek on the near sideline, faced with this 3-people Italian wall, and we see this assassin zone from the Italians.
Yeah.
Lohakono is trying to take out Clement out of the game, and it sort of counts. Hungary lose the disc once more. Vezzani.
Yeah, their teams are all in all divisions and age brackets have employed that, and it has seemed to work a treat.
Gamberini. Vezzani. Slice through to Bruni. The little piece of tape out of Vezzani's hamstring is now on the grass as Gamberini gets the gainer up the line.
Yeah.
So many lefties on the field.
I do wonder whether, with that kind of tape losing its tackiness, whether Vezzani will have slightly limited mobility now.
And
Bianchi's calling the strip here, I think.
And it seems like it will be contested again without much discussions by Miksha.
Feels like the majority of calls in this game have resulted in pretty quick contests.
These teams have played each other previously twice already in this tournament, so maybe they have pre-agreed before this last game that they're going to just have to keep the flow going.
Especially kind of at this age bracket, 2 languages in Hungarian and Italian that don't tend to share much in common, and I don't know how good their skills would be in any shared languages. So maybe think that rather have calls kind of protract and take ages that, does it look like we could even come close to we could come to an agreement? No, let's just get on with it.
I don't hate it, actually. Knowing that the discussions have proven to be difficult in some of the other games, this will be a miscommunication by Hungary.
Yeah, I think I still would probably like to see a little bit more discussion, because sometimes I feel it's like we'll just call it and contest it, send it back. You know, you're kind of not thinking about the play at all. But obviously, as long as the 2 teams are happy with what goes on the pitch, then so are we.
Bruni thinks about the continuation to the Crush Cup, but he's going to go over the top. Clement puts his body in the way.
I think there's going to be a stall called on that throw from Bruni.
And it is accepted. So it seems like these players know exactly what they're doing. It's either a contest or an accepted call. When you think about it, Benji, how many times do you see it on the screen where players discuss something and the call is actually retracted. You know, it's, I think with the emotion that comes with bracket play and maybe a little bit of history that the teams might have had.
Yeah, we have seen it at points this week, though, where, you know, you're not sure, you call it, you have the discussion, then actually, you know what, fair enough, I was in the wrong, I'll take it back. It's one of the great things about Ultimate is that you're able to do that and say, and then admit your own faults.
Hungary, after several turnovers here, not connecting quite so well. But now they get it in front of the end zone for the score, extending their lead 9-2 in the 52nd minute of this game.
It looks like Jeannot at the front of the end zone making the catch. That was, yeah, a little bit more methodical and slightly messier there from the Hungarians. That zone that seems to be, that we've seen kind of all the Italian teams deploy, really, which I think shows kind of that they've looked at it, they've decided it, worked on it, designed to basically make Clement's impact as minimal as possible. It certainly did the trick in that regard. Wouldn't surprise me if we see the Italians try and stick with that.
Jeannot, out of Budapest, only 15 years of age, but already 175 centimeters tall. The genetics throwing some verticality for this young talent out of Hungary. Thank you for tuning in on the Alti TV YouTube channel. We love to see you connect with us through the chat. If you would like to support the spread of free coverage of Ultimate Frisbee, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're also on social media where you can also give us a follow, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or most recently TikTok.
Do you really understand how TikTok works?
No, I only watch the replays of TikTok videos on Instagram.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're probably not the only one in that regard. I don't kind of understand how it works either, and I kind of have a degree in this sort of thing. Just don't tell anyone.
Big put into the end zone, and this one will be a clean hold for Italy. Lovely stuff out of the Italians, really trying to stay in this game. They've made themselves a nuisance on defense, but here they are, scoring clean.
Yeah, they clearly isolated that front corner of the end zone, and Gildin took the opportunity to really attack that space. The Hungarian pressure was close, but not quite close enough. Why bother working it down the field when you can just grip it and rip it? But it's brilliantly judged and well weighted. And what I love there is Gildin just keeps that defender on his back shoulder so he can't really get the bit in. Mariani judges this throw to perfection. See it again on the replay.
Bronzetti, Bronzetti. Loiacono adds another one for the scoreboard of the Italians. We still have about 25 minutes of regulation time. These under-17 matchups being played out at 80 minutes at least, as opposed to the under-20 division at the WJUC. 100-minute games.
They are indeed, yeah, all have the 15 score cap. Hungary at the moment, very much favourites, but as we've seen, Italy certainly are not without their own strengths. They've generated turnovers, and at times their offense has really clicked. It's just about the consistency, I think, for them.
Gender pulling being employed. This is a lovely throw in the under-17 division. Borcellini puts that one up for Italy. And the Hungarians with a wide swing to Teremi. Added a little Italian flair to that pronunciation of the Hungarian name there. Kokai. Finds Stoth. Clement now in front of the end zone with the hammer and a score. Lila Takac must be her at least second score in this game.
Well, I can tell you actually that should be, in fact, I think her second. I think she had one in the end zone that was a little bit too far, and that's actually just the first time she's got on the scoreboard, but her impact has certainly been felt. I think it's Matusz, actually. That hammer is a really difficult catch because the edge is taking it away from her, and she's done so well to get her hands set and ready for that. I mentioned that her sister Lutzer is playing in the under-20s final this evening.
And she is an incredible powerhouse in the end zone, scoring so many points for the under-20 mixed Hungarian team.
(10-3) to Hungary at the moment. The game very much in their control. After they had some offensive miscues on their first 0 point of this second half, that one was so much cleaner for them.
And a fun fact, when you look at the Italian and Hungarian flag, you will notice that they will be sort of featuring very similar colors.
With the same colours even.
You would have guessed that because Italy is wearing that blue kit, as they do ever so often with their national jerseys.
Right, you just kind of rotate the Italian flag 90 degrees anti-clockwise and you get the Hungarian one, right?
The green maybe being a slightly different shade for the Hungarians. But they don't mind because they have just gotten the disc in the last third of the field off of the Italians. Clement has his hat put back on, shoots for the end zone, and that's a collection for Hungary. They go up 11-3.
He might have dropped it on the landing.
Reani pointing out of bounds.
It looks a little bit like some good old-fashioned Mac line here. Look at it again. There's the big tip from that poaching defender. Gets it. And no, he definitely keeps possession. But I guess they're saying it was on the line and Italy will get the disc back. I think one of the Italian coaches on the sideline, after seeing a second look at it, said it was in, but by that point, play had already resumed. But a brilliant layout from Miksha to get the disc back for the Hungarians. I'm not going to say the thing, but I'm sure people in chat might.
Clement picks up and centers for Hungary. See a very spread out, interesting end zone setup from the Hungarians. Italy respond with a quick deep shot, but no surprise that Matusz, as the tallest player underneath, gets a piece of it and intercepts. Clement raising his arms in a little bit of frustration as he had to wait a couple of seconds for his teammates to get some undercuts going.
I do feel like he wants someone to maybe make that deep strike, but he's not getting it at the moment.
Ester Toth finds somebody down the far sideline, but a call stops the play.
I think that's Miksha with the disc in his hands at the moment.
Bronzetti taps the disc into play. Break side, big put. Greatest attempt. Can it be collected? Hungary come down with it. No call. Could that be the second greatest on the stream in 2 days? What, Benji? What?
Ferenc Clement, is there anything that he cannot do? I'm not convinced that there is. This is unbelievable. As he plants, he wants that shot down the sideline. The jump. Does he get it off in time? Who knows? On the field, they seem to think it was good. And then Matusz rises highest to bring it down for the score. I think he's got it out before he lands. I didn't quite see exactly where he took off from. but there are a lot of people with a lot better view of it than I, and none of them seem to question it.
In any case, we see it time and time again that the rare occurrence of a greatest is just such a spectacular play every time it occurs in the game that players just tend to reward it with a point anyway. We've had one yesterday where I've never seen anything quite like it in my entire career.
It was the cleanest greatest yesterday. Took off from well inbound and had it released well before he hit the floor. Because this one's on the far side and it's difficult to see. But he gets so much revolution on the disc on that greatest. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to do that when you're, you know, diving out of bounds. That's ridiculous, I'm sorry.
Also when you're 15 years of age, Benji.
I wasn't going to mention that because because it was going to make me feel even older than I am. That kid's like half my age. I mean, the ceiling is so high. So high.
And we even see the Italian coach coming over to the Hungarian team, congratulating them on that play. And immediately turning around to give instruction to his charges, making it known that Hungary have come out in match D for the first time in this game. Good bid, but Peroni keeps it alive. A foul call on the throw. Looks like it will be immediately accepted by Gubek. Disc returns to the hands of Luca Peroni. And if you were hoping for a Rimini appearance, there you have it. He's got Mariani on the reset. Finds him for the up line. Mariani winds up. Backhand shot into the end zone, ripped out of the air by Gubek. Italy set up that zone immediately. Hungary going over the top. Kokai to Teremi. Through the first cup. To Vasari. Gubek now has it towards the near sideline. Opens up with a bladey flick into the hands of Teremi.
Very polite applause from the Hungarian sideline, which I think undersells the quality of that throw. And then trying to sneak it through the middle. The Italian defense is there.
Here is Peroni, who's going to try to work it down the field with Malucelli. Malucelli rips it into the end zone. And that's a first break for Italy.
What a rip of a forehand. Just sees the space and full faith there from Malucelli that his receiver's going to chase it down. And you know what? That faith has been more than repaid. Just the force is a little bit slow to get into position. So he has time to judge it, holster it, weight it, and Peroni answers the call. Goes up with two hands and brings it down. And the Rimini native who plays with Kota King was king of the hill on that one.
I absolutely love the determination of these Italian under-17s. The way that they're fighting in this game, despite the big point difference, is just so admirable. And we're getting a little bit of education happening in the chat, Benji. The colors of the flags are indeed the same. Originally, the Italian flag apparently was also horizontally displayed. The light blue color is the color of the Savoia family that reigned in Italy until 1948.
And now the Azzurri is one of those colors that you think about kind of any Italian sports team, and you do picture them in that blue. This Italian side, no different. Kind of a return to this more traditional blue than we've seen maybe in the past. They've tinkered with that a little bit, but gone back to it with this kit, which I think is, yeah, it's simple without being too simple. I like it.
Clement goes backwards to Kokai. Here they are.
You saw him.
Just two handlers. I think this actually is a great answer to the Italian zone, just to keep two handlers behind it and outnumber the match Italian defense downfield.
Yeah, I think with any zone, it's all about where you can put players so you can take advantage of numerical mismatches. If you're happy having only a couple of people back when a zone often has 3-4 people up front, then that means you've got those, you know, much greater numbers downfield, and that should be people in wide open spaces.
Clement goes in between the legs of his mark.
The JC? Surely not. Oh no, I think it's just it's nearly, but not quite. But yeah, I think he probably wanted a little bit of air bounce on it, but he didn't get it. I can't throw an air bounce myself, but I think you've kind of got to show a little bit of disc to the wind. It's a tricky throw that I have absolutely never mastered.
So here is Italy once more. They have managed to broken Hungary on that last point. They'll be looking to add another one straight away. Vezzani. Her last name sort of reminding us of our dear friends Veds from the Veds videos.
When we were here in May for the European Masters Club Championships, staying in the dorms on the campus here, I saw a Vez video sticker that must be at least a decade old that in a design that I'd never seen before. That guy gets everywhere.
Peroni.
By the way, if you want to join him and our lovely crew, then you're always welcome to hit us up on socials, whether you want to get in the booth and take our jobs, or whether you want to, get on the cameras, join us in the edit suite. We'd love to hear from you.
Again, not a bad look. Peroni sort of open behind that second cup.
Nice little slap of hands there between him and Clement as well.
Clement looks very sort of intimidating with his height among the rest of the players on the field. But I can assure you that when you actually see under that bucket hat, you'll see the same baby face as on the other players in the under-17 division.
It's a couple of different things, isn't it? It's the hat, it's the eye black, it's the big baggy jersey that's tucked into the shorts to make him appear bigger. The kind of the horizontal stripes, the hoops across again, they make you look a little bit bigger as well. That's an old rugby trick.
They have thought about it all, these Hungarians, haven't they? Teremi on the near sideline with the reset to Clement. Clement shaking the disc in his hand. Thinking about another highlight reel throw. It will be an easy backhand to the forehand side for the score. And Hungary, this time, undisturbed in their offensive efforts. Add another one to the scoreboard.
Yeah, 12-4 they make it. And again, he's so happy to run the offense. We've seen him do it with his big throws. This time, it's that short little dribbling, 1-2, getting the disc back, just leading the receiver into that space there.
I think it was Lila Takac with the score once more, mimicking her big sister in the under-20 mixed division. Hungary also making it to the finals in that category.
Yeah, they'll take on the Swiss. That's at 7 o'clock local time. Our fourth final of 4 today. Super 4 final Friday. We've got under-17 women's next at 3 o'clock. Italy versus France with yourself and Christina Obermeier on the call. And then Christina joins me for the under-17 the under-17 open final at 5 o'clock today, which is also Italy-France. And it's Christina and I for the mixed final, the under-20 mixed final this evening as well.
4 women, or shall I say girls, on the line for this next point.
4 female matching players we'll go with as well.
We are playing the ABBA rule for the gender matching on the line.
Yeah, so there's a flip at the start of the game to decide the gender for the first point. After that first point, the gender ratio flips from 4-3 to 3-4 or vice versa. And then after every other point, you switch it back again, like a little bit like a tie-break serve in tennis. You know, the idea being that it makes sure that players, regardless of gender, are getting equal playing time.
Taking a little bump on the mark is Beneducci, but her throw finds the intended receiver.
Yeah, had her head in her hands when she threw it, but receiver made the play.
Janot says no. And Clement takes that opportunity to enjoy that shot into the end zone. Slides out of the hands of Teremi. Italy moves the other way. Lefty put is low. And Kyoldin gets a little hug from behind from Clement.
That's his favourite throw, is that full field flick. And he wants to show off the arm again. This time it works.
Lili Kokai with the score. And Italian coach is looking so frustrated. It is so difficult to keep their charges motivated to fight in this game when the, I almost said enemy, when the opponent is so immaculate with their throws.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the word. Keeping an eye on what's going on, because there are other games going on at the moment, kind of wrapping up the other divisions as well. The Under-20 Open semi-final, bronze medal match, I should say, takes place later this afternoon, as does the women's bronze medal match as well. But the Under-20 mixed bronze medal match is going on at the moment, and Sweden, who narrowly, and I mean by the barest of margins, missed out on the gold medal game yesterday to Hungary, are currently up 9-8 on Colombia.
So Colombia just one greatest away from making it a tight game, is it, Benji?
I mean, I'd say it's tight right now, but I mean, we saw their open side put off the most spectacular greatest, so wouldn't surprise me if their mix could pull one off as well. That mix side has really grown in confidence and improved as the week's gone on, and that's really what you want to see at this level. So much more about so much more than just the results. It's about developing as players, as a team, and developing as people as well.
Loiacono receives the pole for Italy. We finally managed to get the right pronunciation of his name down here in the second half.
Theoretically, anyway.
He leaves the handling space. Mariani goes there instead of him. Casagrande finds the reset. Some give and go work. Mariani has it again. Opens up that lefty sideline.
Sneaky, I like it.
Loiacono. Another lefty for the Italians. Doesn't like the reset. Steps around. Takes a bigger one. To Beneducci.
There's a flat rip deep. Nice effort from Peroni, but it was just a little bit too low.
Mariani put that up nice and early, but it needed a little bit more height to just keep hanging for Peroni to execute that layout.
Clement was baiting it deep, allowing him to go beyond because he backs himself to get anything floaty. So they just try and zipped it through, and it so nearly worked.
Siklay over the cup to Clement. Clement with a hammer shot to the near sideline to Janot. He has the disc again. Doesn't mind going backwards. Kokai now with the gainer to Janot. Clement with a little cheeky high release forehand. I think he was going for Kokai.
Yeah, I think he wanted her to kind of sit down, and she was making that throw a little bit easier on him, and they were not on the same page.
Siklay, sorry, with the miscommunication. Mariani to Bronzetti. Mariani gets it again. Lefty put. This is a nice clean D by Clement, who sneaks around Beneducci, who was attacking the deep space. Lili Kokai. Centering to Clement. We've been saying these Hungarians don't mind being very chill on the offense, meaning swinging the disc.
And they also don't mind holding it for a few seconds to see if they can set up more aggressive shots.
Bit of a position game from them. Trying to outnumber the Italians in the right spaces. Oh, and this time the defense gets a piece of it. Mariani immediately with a give and go to Peroni. Lefty into the end zone for the score. A second break for the Italians in the second half. They go up 5. But only 3 minutes left in this under-17 mixed final.
Yeah, the cap comes on at that 80-minute mark, so you finish the point, add 1 to the highest score, and then that becomes your new score cap. Hungary turning it over on the short field, just throwing it into a zone that was far too congested. And Mariani keeps his cool, squeezes it down the sideline into Bronzetti. And Italy, again, they're still plugging away in there. It's been a tough game for them against an opponent that seems to really have their number, but they've not given up.
And Guzzi trying to fire up his squad, making sure they get as much exposure on the live stream as possible, really making, well, they have already almost made full use of the time provided to them.
Yeah, there's certainly promise in this side. Remember as well, Italy, one of only 2 countries to field a side in women's open and mixed in this division. Belgium the other. No one did it in the under-20s. So it's about getting as many players as possible the opportunity to come out, strut their stuff, get that experience of international ultimate. And as well, Italy is, while they've had very strong single-gender teams, that hasn't necessarily been the focus on mixed. So maybe try and get players hooked on it young, enjoy the complexities of the game, and get the opportunity maybe to try and build a mixed program for the future. There's the whistle for the time cap.
Disc lands directly on the halfway line. Gubek centers to Toth. Lefty slice through the cup. Gubek gets moving quickly.
Bruni was not far away from that throw through the center.
Pops it over to Matusz. Another giant on this Italian team, but great effort. Peroni with the D, I believe. He has the disc now on the near sideline, working with Gamberini. Continuation for the upline. Now they swing it wide.
But the swing there is just off target. Lojakono tried to track it down. Hungary putting it deep immediately, but too far for Matusz. Just located the disc too late.
I think Matusz didn't realize that nobody from the Italian side was actually chasing him, and he had to take a bit of shouting out of the Hungarian sideline to push him to make that run for the end zone, but nonetheless, the disc out of his reach, and I think Italy will take a timeout here.
Yeah, again, showing that they're not just accepting the defeat here. Want to try and give themselves every possible advantage to try and find a way back in this game.
So as we hit the 80-minute mark, we're going to finish playing this point. If Hungary score, we're going to have a game to 15. If Italy does, we will play to 14 as the highest score in this game. And as the teams huddle up, we're going to take a little break in the commentary booth. Checking out for now.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches, and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back to what could be the last part, what will be the last part of this under-17 mixed final. Hungary currently leading 13-5 over Italy. Italy taking a timeout after taking the disc off of the Hungarians, and they will try to score another break. They've managed 2 in the second half. Great performance out of Italian defense, keeping the head in the game, trying to keep the determination of scoring as many points as possible, clearly set in their minds. They get underway with Bianchi, passing the disc to Gamberini, swing to Peroni, and continuation to Porcellini. Nice clean bid just to potentially scare Bianchi, who finds the upline from Peroni. Peroni threatening with that deep shot almost every time he gets the disc on the sideline. Bianchi working nicely with Gamberini. Porcellini gets thrown in the disc mix. High disc, but collected on the reset pass. Still great flow out of the Italians. Bianchi now takes the forehand and a wobble. If Hungary bring this one in, we're gonna have a game to 15. Nagy. Matusz now with a collection behind the Italian zone. Toth.
Just calmly and patiently taking the swings and then picking the moment for the downfield passes when they appear. I don't think he fully secured that, and indeed Mikša gives it up.
That was a great layout effort by Laser Gubek, but unfortunately an unsuccessful bid gives the disc once more to the Italians.
Just asked a little bit more than was required, to be honest. It wasn't a throw that should have required a layout.
And Italy really collecting experience in this point. Loiacono finds the continuation, and here's the lefty into the end zone. Third break for Italy in the second half, making the scoreboard look like a completely different story. 6-13, time is over. We're gonna play out this under-17 mixed final to 14.
Italy certainly not going down without a fight. They want to prolong this for as long as possible. Keep, if they can, churning away at that Hungarian lead, showing them that they're going to have to really work to put the Italians to bed.
You get a good look at the stands on the other side of pitch 1 at Pola Marsove. Teams gathering around for the finals as they play out some of the last games of this tournament. It's been a long week. Wrocław being incredibly welcoming. The only difficulty being the hard to pronounce name of this great tournament venue.
I must admit, the first time I came here, I just had some problems pronouncing the city itself, but I think I've got that down now.
Italy pulling in what could be the potential game point here for Hungary. Kokai picks up and centers to Ester Toth. Teremi. Female handlers today. Not today, but during this point for the Hungarians. Swinging the disc, now Siklay gets it on the far sideline. Now they find the continuations to Teremi. Clement doesn't take the hammer, but moves his Italian defender quickly. He goes for the layout in the end zone, and what a grab to end the under-17 mixed final. Hungarians are the European Junior Ultimate Champions in the under-17 mixed division. Look at that celebration. Hungary get their first gold in this tournament. 14-6, they take the victory over Italy.
I think it's only fitting, really, in the end, that it was Clement who brought in the winning score with that sensational layout. He's been their talisman this week and proving it again, not only on that point, but just generally in this game. That is second goal to go along with 5 assists, one of which was a greatest as well. Hungary have been, I think, far and away the best of the bunch in this division. Undefeated, and generally, no one's even really come that close to them, the class of the division, and they proved it here today. Commiserations to the Italians, but congratulations to Hungary on the others under-17 mixed gold medal.
And we can hear the Italians still cheering. They have so much to be proud of. They put up a great fight. The scoreboard not looking as it could have looked, I believe, after the start of the game. They have learned a lot, I believe, not just in this game, but throughout the several matchups they have had against this Hungarian team. I would even call this game a great spirited match. We haven't had any discussions as the players just opted for the option of contesting or accepting a call quickly. In my opinion, a good way to keep the game flowing. But as you see, the replay of the last point with Clement and his incredibly magnificent layout for the last score. We want to thank you for tuning in at the UltiTV YouTube channel. Hungary take the first gold at this tournament, under-17 mixed championship, will be out of Magyarország. Surely that's approximately how you say it.
I believe you.
We have more finals coming our way. Benji, what is it?
Indeed, we move from the mixed division into the single gender. So coming up next, we have the under-17 women's final. That taking place in about 25 minutes' time. France versus Italy, and then it's France versus Italy again in the under-17 open final. That one kicks off at 5 Central European summertime, and then a little bit of a bonus for you because of inclement weather forecast tomorrow afternoon. The under-20 mixed final has been moved to this evening under the lights here in Wrocław, and Hungary will hope to double their gold medal tally as they have their trilogy match in the gold medal game against Switzerland. That could be a hell of a contest.
But don't go away just yet. Do not turn off that YouTube channel. We have some post-game interviews coming your way. Christina Obermeier, our colleague from the commentary crew, is trying to grab some players for you.
Obviously, sometimes it can be tricky to find someone who's
a willing champion.
Yes, don't necessarily want to gloat, or also finding someone who's confident enough in their English. Sometimes that's tricky, even in the senior divisions, and especially at the junior level.
And it seems like she had managed to pull Ferenc Clement, who has been the star of this game, especially with that last grab. Seemed quite comfortable with his English on the sideline. So with a look under the bucket hat, stay tuned to find out more about how he is perceiving the first gold for Hungary.
I'm so happy for winning this tournament. My team are also so happy, and yeah, that's all. We are so happy.
Yeah, that's great. Besides winning this, what is your highlight of the week? The best thing that happened?
I think it's the long shots are our special. So yeah, that's all. The long hawks and long throws.
Did you think there was anything you could have improved as well, or are you looking to improve something especially after this tournament?
I don't know. We need relaxing and focusing to the next tournament.
All right, good luck with that. Also, one last question. What are you going to do tonight?
I don't know. A little celebrating with my team. I don't know what it is. Let's find out.
All right, we'll find out. Thank you very much and good luck for future events.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Oh, just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Alti.tv